And again, the church, right? I mean, the Catholic Church is issuing statement after statement. Pope Pius IX did Qui Pluribus in 1846, did several other encyclicals, and then Leo XIII in 1878.
Yeah.
And on to 1903, a whole bunch of statements as well. And Pius X listed it in his syllabus of errors. They referred to communism as pestilential, pests. They're just the strongest language. The 1937 Pius XI encyclical Divini Redemptoris called communism a satanic scourge orchestrated by the sons of darkness. And said the communism was demonic.
Which pope was it? Maybe Leo XIII, who said you cannot be a Catholic and a socialist.
That was that was Pope Pius XI in Quadragesimo Anno, 1931.
Okay.
One cannot be at the same time a socialist and a Catholic.
I see.
Yeah, the two are incompatible.
Okay, now I think what bothers people when we go after communism is they think that we're necessarily extolling capitalism in all of its forms and celebrating all of its outcomes.
Exactly.
Now, John Paul II in Centesimus Annus, is that how you say it?
Which was done on the 100th anniversary of Leo XIII's Rerum Novarum. Right. Because that's what that means, 100 years since henceforth. Yes. And Quadragesimo Anno was 40 years after Rerum Novarum.
I want to quote...
So those three are all connected.
I want to quote paragraph 42 because the first thing is often kind of cited by those who would champion capitalism. He says, can it perhaps be said that after the failure of communism, capitalism is the victorious social system and that capitalism should be the goal of the countries now making efforts to rebuild their economy and society? If by capitalism is meant an economic system which recognizes the fundamental and positive role of business, the market, private property, and the resulting responsibility for the means of production, as well as free human creativity in the economic sector, then the answer is certainly in the affirmative, even though it would perhaps be more appropriate to speak of a business economy, market economy, or simply free economy. This one short quote. Because then he says this, but if by capitalism is meant a system in which freedom in the economic sector is not circumscribed within a strong juridical framework which places it at the service of human freedom in its totality and sees it as a particular aspect of that freedom, the core of which is ethical and religious, then the reply is certainly negative. So maybe help those who are listening who have questions, maybe not even full-out critiques, but just questions about capitalism.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
It's a beautiful statement. And I'm so glad you brought this up because for anyone says, well, you're a capitalist. I'm not a capitalist. I mean, I've heard people say that Marx invented the term capitalism. I don't know for sure. But the idea that you and I might be capitalists. What do we worship capital? I don't care about capital. I mean,
what is capital? What is capital? Money, property. What does capital mean?
I think it might refer to, in his sense, as maybe the means of production, maybe factories, farms, things that are owned, currency. Perhaps, right? I don't know. You have to really drill down on what actually Das Kapital, right? I mean, he talks about it, but the thing is, I tell people all the time, I'm not a capitalist. I mean, I'm just kind of a general free marketer. I believe in private property, and in freedom to engage in commerce, right? Free exchange of ideas, currency, the right to start a business, lower regulations, lower taxes, and I'm not against the state doing some things to help the poor, Social Security, workers' comp, welfare even, right? But limited to a certain amount of time, maybe like 2 years or whatever. So I'm not against those things, but so they often set up a caricature, right, and call it capitalism, and kind of contrast their communism to that. But I don't know anybody really, even including my Wall Street friends, who call themselves capitalists.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe or you're a dingus. What's a dingus exactly?
Used to refer to something one cannot or does not wish to name specifically.
You don't have to subscribe, but if you did, I'd love it. You dingus.
Like the video. That's who we're using that one. Take one.